Good morning and welcome to KidNuz. I'm Tori. Today is Friday, October 8th, 2021. And we begin with NASA intentionally putting itself on a collision course with an asteroid. On the day before Thanksgiving, the agency will launch an oven-sized spacecraft into the path of an incoming rock, hoping the explosive impact will change its course. It's the first test of DART, which stands for Double Asteroid Redirection Test. The objective? To find out if knocking an asteroid off kilter is an effective way to protect Earth from potentially dangerous space objects. The craft will crash into the rock at a speed of 4 miles per second, or 14,000 miles an hour. If the scenario sounds familiar, you can thank the 1998 sci-fi movie Armageddon, in which NASA landed a team on an asteroid to detonate it before it destroys Earth. But today's DART target poses no threat, and while the launch is in November, the crash won't happen for another 10 months. By now, someone has gotten the call of a lifetime from Oslo, Norway. Overnight, while most of us were sleeping, the Nobel Committee notified and announced the winner of this year's Nobel Peace Prize. It's the last, and some might say most prestigious, of the 6 annual awards established by Alfred Nobel in 1895 to acknowledge work of the greatest benefit to humankind. Last year's winner was the World Food Program for its efforts to fight global hunger. This year, there were 329 candidates under consideration for the honor and its $1 million prize. What's in a name? Plenty, especially when it comes to the upcoming controversial federal holiday known as Columbus Day. It's always on the second Monday in October. Schools are closed, some moms and dads have the day off, and stores have big sales. But while the U.S. government still calls it Columbus Day in honor of Italian explorer Christopher Columbus, many states and towns have stripped his name from the calendar because of the unkind way he treated those who were already living in North America when he arrived. Those people are known as natives or indigenous people, which is why some cities and states have declared it Indigenous Peoples Day instead. Not everyone is happy with that change, though. Some say the holiday honors the history of immigration, not just the explorer, and believe calling it Italian Heritage Day is the way to go. An Atlanta Braves player is getting a lot of attention these days, not just because he's a crazy good slugger, but because of how he's accessorizing. Instead of the standard gold chains around his neck, Jock Peterson is rocking a pearl necklace. And according to MLB.com, he's probably the only player to hit a homer while making that kind of fashion statement. What's the story behind the choice? According to Jock, it's a clubhouse secret. But he also says he likes pearls, thinks they look good on him, and he clearly has the confidence to walk that walk. The Braves continue their postseason run against Milwaukee tonight, and if Jock makes an appearance at the plate, his pearls might too. A few other KidNuz notes. Disney World's meet and greets will soon be back in action. One-on-one time with Magic Kingdom characters has been taboo for about a year now, but the resort announced this week that Mickey and friends will return to their theme locations, ready for masked, socially distanced selfies starting next month. To limit COVID spread, autographs and hugs are still on hold. And one more Disney note, the company has tapped Billie Eilish for its live-to-film concert experience of Tim Burton's classic, The Nightmare Before Christmas. Billie will perform Sally's songs alongside a full orchestra. Nearly 27 years after the original movie came out, the concert events will happen in an open-air stadium in Los Angeles on October 29th and Halloween, after which the live footage will be turned into a new film experience. Before we get to our memory challenge, a correction. Earlier this week, we shouted out Aiden and the Rajasekar family, but we got their hometown wrong. They're from Los Gatos, California, not Los Altos. Our apologies, and thank you again, Rajasekars of Los Gatos, for supporting KidNuz. Now, today's quiz. In NASA lingo, what does DART stand for? Double Asteroid Redirection Test. Which prestigious award was announced overnight? The Nobel Peace Prize. Braves baseball player Jock Peterson has been accessorizing his uniform with what? a pearl necklace. What federal holiday is celebrated this coming Monday? Columbus Day, which is now also known as Indigenous Peoples Day. In today's Kid News Kicker, more on how the ball got rolling on the Columbus Day name change. Berkeley, California was the first U.S. city to kick Columbus to the curb in 1992. Santa Cruz, California followed 2 years later, but the idea really gained traction in 2014 when Minneapolis, Minnesota, and Seattle, Washington renamed the holiday. Now, more than 100 cities and a few entire states, including Alaska and Oregon, have ditched the Explorer in favor of Indigenous Peoples Day. Kid News will also be celebrating the holiday, so our next podcast will be on Tuesday. Before we head out, though, we want to give a Kid News shout-out to our teachers, starting with Mrs. Weishite, who wants her students at Gavin Central in Lake Villa, Illinois, to stay focused, stay positive, stay Gavin strong. What's up to Mrs. Parker and her students at Legacy Elementary in Ashburn, Virginia? Mrs. Corzets and her awesome class at Gutteth in Brownstown, Michigan. Mr. Starr and his students at W.S. Mount in Stony Brook, New York. And Mr. Miller's English class at Southern Lehigh High School in Central Valley, Pennsylvania. Thanks for listening. Enjoy the long weekend, and we'll see you back here for more Kid News Tuesday morning.